Welcome back everyone to Motion RC. I'm James and today we're going to be doing a Canard mixing video. This time though, we're going to do it on the Futaba. We have the 10J right here in front of you and we have it plugged in with the receiver that comes with the 10J. It is the R300 8SB telemetry receiver, 8 channel, more than enough that we're going to need for the Gripen. You will need 7 channels if you're going to be setting up your Canards to work in both the roll and the pitch. Now you've already seen, you might have already seen, we did the setup on the Spectrum DX9, so link is in the description for that. But for all you Futaba guys, I know you probably don't get as much love out there, but we're going to start making more Futaba videos. I'm going to be flying a lot of models coming up on Futaba because it's something that we sell, and I'm excited about it. Always nice to learn about a different protocol. From what I hear, the people who love Futaba swear by it, but same thing happens for any radio out there, any protocol. People love what they love, but I've been excited using it. It's pretty straightforward as far as getting it set up, but you can see I've gotten to the point where I've already set up the elevons and the rudder and everything as it should. So I will turn this camera to Alex over there, and when I move in the roll left, you can see my elevons move with a left roll. When I move in the right, elevons move in the right. When I pull down, both elevons work in the pitch, and when I push the nose down, they work as they should in the pitch. And then my rudder also is set up. I have a throttle cut on whenever you're playing with mixes or anything, guys. Always get a throttle cut on there. You don't want to have your model blow off the table on you when it's plugged in, because you have to do this with plugged in. But as you can see, I have the Canards plugged into channels 6 and 7 on this transmitter, but right now I don't have any mixes set up, so they're not doing anything. But you will notice when you do plug in your Gripen, regardless of what protocol you use, that your Canards might go in certain areas. That's because when you set up a model, there's already a channel usually assigned to your open channel. So like right now, channel A is what's been assigned to port 6, I guess, on the Futaba, and then channel B was assigned to port 7. So when I flip these switches, you can see, but we're going to show you how to get rid of that, just so the Canards work in both the pitch and the roll. So let's get started. Alright guys, so we got our Gripen. You can see our Gripen file is here, and as I showed you, you can see on the big screen that when I flip these two switches, A and B at the top, as I just showed you, that moves the Canards, and the idea today is going to be getting those Canards set up to work in our roll and our pitch. So first things first, you're going to push and hold the plus button to get into your menu, and you can see Futaba has a ton of menus, but the menus we're going to start with, we want to be right here in aux channel, because what we want to do is null out these two switches, because switch A is on channel 6, that's where I have one Canard plugged into, and channel 7 has switch B on it, and I want to make sure neither one of those work. So I'm going to go into this, and I'm just going to go to null, and you could see that Canard, when I did that, moved right to about center. So this is why I said you don't have to necessarily change the ball links when you first plug in and center these out. You want to do that later after you get all the mixes done. But if I go back to switch A, you see it moves, but now we go to null. So then we just go down to the next one, and we're going to go up or down, and we null out that. And now our Canards are virtually centered, but that's also because this aircraft had been set up before. But now these channels will no longer be affected by anything other than the mixes, which is what we want. Okay, good. Now the next page you want to go to is your mixes, which is still on the first page of the Futaba menu. So you're just going to go to P mix, as you see here. Going to push in, and you can see you got 4 mixes available to you in a normal curve. So that's perfect for the Canard because we need 4 mixes. So we will go into normal mix. And what I like, it's very similar to Spectrum in a lot of regards, but what I like is you can definitely see which one's the master and which is the slave. So the master is going to be our roll. That's where we'll get started since aileron is already there. So then slave, we're going to go and work on our Canards. Now we know our Canards are plugged into channels 6 and 7. So what we're going to do is let's find channel 6 first. Channel 6, as far as this goes, is going to be your flap channel. So that's where we'll get started. So we'll put that on flap. Now we're going to go up to our mix, and you can see here that's inhibited, so right now nothing will happen. So I want to turn that on, which is going to work. And now let's get into our rates and let's see what happens. So I'm going to start racking this forward, pushing the positive, and now when it's about 30%, I can see if it starts working. So you can see my opposite, it's my right canard, which is what is plugged into channel 6. And when I move it in one direction, I'm getting, I'm getting movement of the canard. And what you want to make sure in the roll, your canard should work with the elevon in unison that's on its side. So the right canard and the right elevon are working together. They're both, the leading edges are both going up, if you will, or trailing edges are going down. So that's what I want. So that means I'm in the right direction. So I'm going to continue to rack that up positive to 100. There you go. So now when I move left, it's moving left together in a left roll. Now, what you want to do is go over to the right one, and let's positive that one all the way up to 100 as well. And now when you have that, you want to check it. So when I move right, the canard and the elevon on the right side are working in uniform, and they're working together on the left. So that is exactly how we want it. Now what I would do, we don't need this on a switch or anything, but what I would do is activate your trim. That's the way we've been flying it. We want to be able to trim out both control surfaces at the same time. So when I put on that trim button, you can see when I trim the roll that the canard trims with the elevon on the right side. That's what we want. So beautiful. That is how you do your first mix. So we're going to back out. Now let's go into the second mix. And again, what we should do in this mix, go to master. Let's stay in the roll. So I'm going to go up to, or down to aileron. And then the slave for this purpose is going to be aux 7, because that's where I have the other canard plugged into. So this should be my left canard. Now I'm going to come up to the mix page, and I'm going to turn that on, as you see, and I'll start with this side. So all you do is move the stick a little bit to move your sides. You can see that's just me using the aileron stick, get you into either rate. So let's start racking that. Let's see what happens when I rack that to 100%. But we could test it. Let's rack it to 45. Does it go in the same direction? And as I can see, yes, the trailing edge of my left canard now moves with my left elevon, and nothing happening in the right because I didn't do that rate yet. So back in here, let's rack that all the way up to 100. And then let's rack this one all the way to 100. And now when I move it, you see the canards and the elevons on each side are working together. So my left canard now and my left elevon are working in sync, and my right one. So now I have roll left and I have roll right. That's exactly what we want to see when we finish our roll mixing. So before you get out of this page, make sure you turn the trimming on. You want the ability to trim. So now when you see, when I trim to the left, both sides move uniformly, and when I trim to the right, both sides move uniformly as well. So there you have it, guys. That is how you set up the roll of the mixing page. So now we have 2 more mixes left. Let's work on the pitch. So going into mix 3, I will start this time. Let's turn on the mix first. Let's go into our master. So it automatically is putting a flap to elevator mix in here, but we don't want that. What we want is to be at elevator, because that's going to be the master of this one. And then our slave is going to be, we'll start with the same canard. So the right canard we know is in auxiliary channel 6 on the receiver, which refers to the flap as far as Futaba is concerned. So we'll start there. Again, mix is on, so let's go to the rate and let's rack it. Let's see what happens at 100%. Because now you want your canards to work opposite of the elevons in the pitch. So let's see, when I push the nose up, my left canard is going up, is going the same direction as my elevators, which we know is wrong. The leading edge of the canard, along with the trailing edge of the elevons, should both go down at the same time if I'm pushing the nose down. So that means I have to reverse this. We're going to go back to minus 100. So racking all the way back. And sorry, you have to wait through this. But now when I push the nose down, my right canard is going in opposite with my right elevon, and that's how it should be. But now when I pull up, nothing happens because I haven't done that rate yet. So let's rack that to minus 100, and let's make sure that goes in the right direction, and it does. So keep racking that down. To -100, and let's check it. There you go. When I pull up, that's what I want to see. The trailing edge of the elevon on the right and the leading edge of the canard on the right, both going up. So that'll give me the lift on takeoff, and then when I push the nose down, that's what I want to see there. Before you leave this page, make sure you activate your trim, because we want to be able to trim our pitch as well. So make sure you do that. And now we have just one more mix, and it's going to be doing the same thing for the pitch on the left canard. So first things first, I will turn on the mix. Then I'll go to master, which we know should be elevator. I'll go to slave, which is going to be auxiliary 7, because that's what the left canard is plugged into. And now let's go up here and let's just see which way I should go. Now this should be opposite. Since I was negative on the other elevator, I think I'm going to have to go positive. So I'll rack that up to 50 and just check. When I move the sticks up, yes, you see the canards start moving together. But see, I'm only at a 49% rate, so it doesn't move as high as the right one. We have to rack that all the way to 100. So again, when I push that to 100, when I push down on the nose, there we go. Now they move together, but nothing happens going the other direction. That's because I didn't do this rate yet. So we will positive 100 this side as well. There's positive 100. When I pull back, both canards go up, both elevons go up, and then they both go down. Leading edge and trailing edge go down when I push the nose down. So there you have it for that. We just want to make sure, again, activate the trim so you're able to trim in your pitch. And when you're all said and done, that is what your page should look like. Depending on what receiver you use, obviously in Futaba, will determine whatever port you plugged in your canards to. But basically, in order to do it, you just have to do 4 mixes, same as the Spectrum. 2 for the roll, 1 to each canard, and 2 for the pitch. 1 to each canard is going to get it done. So now that it's all done, you can see when I move everything, I get craziness abound. I'll pick up my transmitter here quick so you guys can see. When I push the nose down, the front canards go down the leading edges and the elevon's trailing edge goes down. When I pull up, the leading edge of the canard goes up and the trailing edge of the elevon goes up. And then when I move in the roll left, I get both of my left canard and my left aileron moving together, and in the right, I get the same thing. So there you go, guys. That's how you set it up in the Futaba. It saves everything you need. You guys are going to enjoy the Gripen. It's going to work perfectly on the RX300 8SP receiver if you want the telemetry. But Futaba is available at Motion RC. Check the links in the description, guys. You'll have links to the transmitter used in this video, the receiver, to the Gripen, and anything else. And as always, guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comment. We'll answer them as fast as possible. And as always, guys, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time at Motion RC.